then we're going to roast the mushrooms in the pork fat.
Ooh,
So you pick up all of the fond from the pork chop and you roast all the mushrooms in the delicious pork fat.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about these mushrooms because they're gorgeous.
Yes,
what are these?
These are a variety called chestnut mushrooms.
I've never seen these before.
They're super delicious. They're
Wow.
grown actually in Philadelphia by this company called Micropolitan Mushrooms.
Huh.
We buy so many different kinds of mushrooms from them, but these in particular are one of my favorites. They're super, like the name says, they not only have that chestnut color,
Okay.
but they have like a nuttiness.
Really? That's so
reminiscent
cool.
of chestnuts as well.
I love their look too. They have like these little bumps on them. I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
We can start cutting some of these mushrooms as
Okay.
we'll be cooking in the same pan as the pork chop.
Great. And look at all the fat that's rendered
Yeah.
too. That's crazy.
So you can see there's these nice tight little clusters, but towards the bottom of it you have a little bit of the growing material,
Okay.
what the mushrooms grew on. You want to just cut that off because that's going to be kind of tough.
Okay. So the
and
stems are
potentially-
tender and edible.
Yeah, the stems are, yes, still pretty tender.
Cool.
And you can see they like, as soon as you cut the bottom off, they kind of just
Yeah, they're so
open
cute.
up.
I can't wait to try these. I'll get rid of them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Whoops. So these mushrooms go right into the
These
pan.
mushrooms go right in.
May
One
I?
pot. Yes, yeah, please, please.
Boom. And you can see there's so much fond on the bottom of that
Yes.
pan.
And then as the mushrooms cook in here, they're going to release all of their moisture. All that fond's going to kind of come up, and it's going to get. We want them to release their moisture, that moisture to evaporate, and then them start to crisp.
So you can really get them caramelized
Exactly.
and browned. No other way to cook a mushroom, really.
No, not at all. And you don't want to overcrowd the pan.
Okay, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, as soon as you overcrowd the pan, the mushrooms are going to release too much moisture, and you're going to have a harder time getting them nice and crispy.
Right, they basically steam at that point.
Yes.
And again, you're keeping the heat right around medium.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically the whole time. And then once you get them in, you want to season them with just a little bit of salt, and this
Okay.
is going to help them release their moisture as well.
Perfect. Savory. I mean, this is an herb you see so little.
Yes. We get this from a local farm called Bright Spot, which is outside of Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
And we get carrots and beets and other things, but
Awesome.
this is a really special thing because this is kind of the first season I'm really working with it, and I just find myself using it for so many different things.
It's got a pretty universal flavor. it
Yes,
seems.
adding it into
Right.
charcuterie or adding it on top of focaccia, you get
yum.
an amazing.
So you do a lot of house-made breads also?
Yes, we do a decent amount of house-made breads.
And pastas too.
We make all our own pastas
Yeah.
in-house too. We kind of a from-scratch restaurant,
Right.
where we
Which
try
is
to do as much as possible.
not an easy thing to pull off.
Yes.
And you guys seem to do it really, really well.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
How many?
All right, so now we throw our savory in. Our mushrooms are getting nice and crispy.
Beautiful. They smell amazing too. Once you put that savory in the pan, you really started to smell that.
So if you want to, you can just build a little salad right beside the pork chop.
Sure.
And then we'll add on some of these mushrooms as well. But if you can't find chestnut mushrooms,
because
any mushroom
where
will
can you?
really kind of do with this.
Right.
There's a little clusters of beach mushrooms which you can find
Oh, sure.
at most Asian markets
Yeah,
or
those are
at the
pretty
grocery
readily
stores.
available. But there's so many different new varieties of mushrooms I see popping
Yes,
up. Every
so
time we
many.
film the show, I get introduced to a new variety of mushroom. Wow.
All right, and then we're just going to add some of the mushrooms right on top of the pork chop. And that's really it.
Amazing.